Guys, we just saw a whole ton of week 3 action. We got two Broncos fans on here that just had our hearts broken literally seconds ago by the Los Angeles Chargers. We got a Cowboys fan here. And then we're gonna talk about all the week 3 action that we've seen thus far, and then we're gonna get into our Sunday night game and our Monday night previews. Let's get it.
Every week a new headline drops. Game day fire and sideline shocks. Oh, soft fan feed. Welcome to the show. We're bringing the heat. No suits, no scripts, just takes from the street. Every week we break down the squads. Real fans. This is the Fan Feed Pod.
Fellas, what's going on tonight?
Hey, what's going on, Trey?
Hey, Trey. Hey, Jose.
Seamus.
Guys, before we get into anything, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Cam. He's not here tonight, so I'm filling in for him. We've got some of our really talented fan feed writers on. They're going to be hosting with me tonight, and we got a lot to get into. So let's just get right into it. Jose, go ahead and introduce yourself. I know Seamus was on last week, and we'll get to you in a second, Seamus. But Jose, tell the people about you and you know who you're representing. Although it's pretty clear.
Yeah, I mean, I'm Jose. I'm on the Broncos beat for FanFeed Network, and I'm happy to be on the pod with the guys today. So just got my heart broken, like Trey was mentioning earlier. Just feels like it's Groundhog's Day. We're waking up to the same exact replay of what happened last week against the Colts. That late game finish where defense just can't finish the game, and penalties and just all kinds of miscues throughout the game just dug us a hole. And even when we had a chance to put the game away, just still get our hearts broken once again. So
yeah, it sucks. It was a good game regardless. I actually liked the Chargers are a good team. And so the fact that the Broncos were hanging right there with them and, they lost by a last second field goal in LA, that's, I know it's like Denver Broncos Stadium 2.0, but but still, like the fact that the Broncos were keeping up with them the whole game, that I guess that's a positive we can take away from that. But we can get into that in just a little bit. But but Seamus, like I said, you were on last week too. But for those who weren't watching last week, go ahead and tell us about yourself some more and what you think about your early thoughts on this week.
Yeah, so very excited to be back. Had a great time last week. Excited to be with you gentlemen tonight. But yeah, great. The three of us can't really say it was too great, but a great week of football. Lots of action, lots of kind of crazy stuff happened that we'll get into tonight. Really excited to kind of dive into all that. I know the three of us have kind of been locked in for the last couple of hours on our games, but have been keeping tabs on the other stuff. So it'll be nice to put some focus on that and talk about some of the other crazy things and focus on the fans who had a good Sunday with a win or some progress or some good things to talk about. But lots to talk about tonight.
Yeah, for sure. Real quick, I don't know. Did you guys have anything in particular you wanted to talk about first? I mean, we can go kind of real quick game by game, but I mean, was there anything that stuck out to you this week that you want to talk about?
I'll say huge week for special teams. Special teams, kind of the redheaded stepchild of football, showed how important that can be and how much a game can hinge on that. So shout out to special teams guys for the performance today.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep, definitely. And then one thing that stuck out to me this week, guys, is it seemed like the week of the underdogs. The first 2 weeks of the season, the favorites pretty much ran away with every single game, covering the spread and just outright winning the games. But this week we saw a ton of upsets. I guess the one that stood out the most is Browns versus the Packers, where Browns are at home and they pulled off the upset in a low-scoring game, 13-10, game-winning field goal to seal the deal. So that's just something that makes the NFL so much more exciting. Is finally we're getting some of these upsets, and maybe some of those teams who we thought were untouchable in those first 2 weeks are kind of coming back down to reality, and we're getting a chance to see how competitive the NFL is, which is one of my favorite things about it.
Yeah, yeah, uber competitive, and we talk about this. Cam and I have talked about this, pretty much at length. But most of the games in the NFL, I think something like 75 or 80% of the games come down to like one possession. But this week it was insane. I mean, starting Thursday night, you've got the Bills. They're 31-21, so that's two possessions. Earlier we had the Bengals and Vikings. It was like 10-48 or something. Colts beat the Titans 41-20. Commanders beat the Raiders 41-24. So it was just a crazy week of football. But I actually agree with both of you. And those are the two main points I wanted to bring up tonight was special teams for sure. I think there were 3 blocked kicks in the early slate of games, right? And 2 of them were game changing. Literally, they won the game because they were able to win that. One of them, like you said, Jose, was Cleveland beating Green Bay, who I don't think anybody saw that coming. And it was so funny because I was listening to a podcast literally this morning who was just saying, Green Bay they're a Super Bowl contender. They're the real deal. I mean, obviously after taking down the Commanders and making Jaden Daniels look like that last week, it's pretty crazy. Do you guys know who the number 1 defense in the NFL is by the metrics? Just curious.
I know it's not the Dallas Cowboys.
It's not the Dallas Cowboys, not the Denver Broncos, unfortunately.
No, I'm not sure.
I couldn't tell you.
It's the Cleveland Browns. It is the Cleveland Browns. By the metrics, they have the best defense in the NFL. And that's with giving up 41 points to the Ravens last week, which is pretty crazy. I'll have to go back and actually find what stats that goes off of. Obviously, I don't think it's based on, points scored, but it's like overall defense. It's pretty crazy. So I heard about that prior to these games. And so when I saw that happening to the Packers, I actually wasn't super surprised because coming into that, you don't think Cleveland Browns have a, terrific defense. They have Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward's out there. They've got some really good star players, but outside of those guys, you don't think as a collective unit, they're really good. But I mean, they showed out today and, their special teams, jumped on top of that too. So it was cool to see the underdogs, like you said, Jose, the underdogs really jump into it and kind of take over. My heart's still broken. I wish the underdog in LA took over, but it wasn't in the cards today, unfortunately.
Yeah, and we even saw, the Eagles show a lot of vulnerability today too. Another one of those NFC teams that we thought, who's going to beat these guys? And then the Rams go out there and punch them in the mouth to start the game. And I don't know how big that deficit was in the beginning, but it looked almost insurmountable until Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown got that offense rolling.
Yeah, they looked. It looked crazy. I don't know if you've seen the pods. I really hype up the Rams. I'm a big Rams guy, and I think they're really good. I think Kyron Williams is underrated. I'm on record as saying I think Devontae Adams is going to have an insane wide receiver year. I think top 5. I think he could be really, really good. And every week he makes a crazy play. So I'm holding out hope, that continues to the end of the season. But yeah, I wasn't super surprised. I told Cam, and I think I might have mentioned this on a pod. I actually bet money that that the Rams would win the Super Bowl last year. And they got close. They got really close. I think if they beat the Eagles last year, they would have won too. But yeah, that was an incredible game. My gosh, that game was so good.
Yeah, it almost seems like the Rams have the Eagles' numbers or has that number to a certain extent, at least to keep it close. And then the Eagles just find a way to big brother them. Nice try, but we're the Super Bowl champs.
The Eagles kind of have a feel like the Chiefs have had for the last handful of years, where every week it seems like they could be got, but they seem to find a way to pull it out at the end. It's like they're far from a perfect team. They keep teams in games. They don't necessarily blow anyone out. And sometimes it looks like they have no shot. And then, comes the end of the game, they make the right plays. They keep their composure and they come out with a win. So it reminds me of the Chiefs of the last couple of years.
Yeah. And that's crazy to think about, because I feel like, I don't know if it was the year they won the Super Bowl or the season before, Sirianni was on the hot seat. Fans wanted him gone and the team wasn't performing up to expectation. And now they're one of those teams who, just looks like they're one of the best coached teams in football.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I think I can't remember which one you just said this, but like kind of like the bigger brother thing. I agree. And it's so funny you say that because earlier today I was thinking like I was thinking to myself like, the Chiefs have been like the bigger brother to everybody in the AFC, honestly, like everybody.
Mhm.
And it's almost like fans of the AFC kind of look at the Eagles as your bigger brother that goes and like bullies that bigger brother. You know what I mean? Like
No,
you kind of
exactly.
wait for them to go out there and do that. And yeah, we got Jacob here saying today was a wild football day. Craziest endings in recent memory. I agree, Jacob. It was an incredible day. This is coming from, again, somebody who just watched the Broncos lose, and man, I'm walking away from today just going, holy cow! Like week 3 was incredible.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, speaking of older brothers beating up on their younger brothers, I mean, what the heck happened to the Seahawks and the Saints? Did you guys see any of that?
Mhm.
That was, man, somebody did
They
something
put a
to their
beat
family.
down.
I don't know. It was a beat down of epic proportions for whatever reason. Holy cow.
Yeah,
But yeah,
44-13,
so
wow.
yeah. And the Panthers, holy cow! Did you
That
guys see
one,
the Panthers?
that's the biggest.
Yeah.
That's the biggest one for me. That I just, I was not expecting the Panthers to even win. Never mind, just to just dominate like that.
Mhm.
It was crazy.
Yeah, a complete shutout, 30-0. I think they had 3 pick sixes or 3 defensive touchdowns. It
No
was
way.
insane, absolutely insane. Yeah, but there's a lot of really good defense. Like you said, Seamus, a lot of really good special teams today. It's just cool to see these different elements of football. Other than it is fun to see like a fun offense, but when you start getting these other aspects of football thrown into it, I don't know. That to me, that's really cool. Like it's just a nice change of pace, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, I had a couple topics that I wanted to bring up really quick, unless you guys have anything else before we hop into that.
No, go
let's
for
hear
it.
Cool. All right, so I did want to talk about Washington and Las Vegas because they obviously played each other, but Washington looked great. They didn't look good. They looked great against the Raiders. Do you guys think that is an indictment on Jaden or an indictment on Las Vegas?
I think it has way more to do with Las Vegas just not performing well today. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been a fan of Mariota throughout his career, and I mean, honestly, he just hasn't really played well. I mean, the last half decade. So for him to
Yeah.
just step in relief of Daniels and just kind of, manage the offense, I think that just goes more to show like how useless the Raiders defense can be at times because. I mean, they have a few key players, but I mean, besides Jamal Adams and Max Crosby, they have no help. They have no talent on the defensive side of the ball. So I mean, if a backup quarterback can walk onto the field Sunday and just dominate, I mean, come on, what are we doing there? And that's a Pete Carroll coach defense too. That's supposed to be a specialty. Right. So, I mean, I think that they just don't have the talent.
Yeah, I do agree with you to a point, Jose. I do want to disagree just slightly that I do think that Mariota obviously is not the guy that they thought he was going to be when he was drafted. I do think he's still around and hanging around as a backup for a reason. And he's not going to go in and save a season, but I think in these kind of spot starts, he's proven that he can, do the preparation and kind of survive through. I mean, obviously they did more than just survive today. But I think Mariota, has proven his worth as a backup and can spot and plays, not nearly as well, but a similar style to Jaden Daniels. So not too much of a shift for the rest of the team, which I think definitely allowed for some success today.
Yeah. And I'm happy for Mariota that he's able to, still play and fill in relief of Jaden. But I don't know if you guys got a chance to watch the quarterback documentary on Netflix, and it featured Mariota that year he was starting for the Falcons. He just looked completely done with football, like just his attitude and mindset.
Yeah. Looks like we might have some technical difficulties. Oh, yeah. That's all good. Yeah, but he's totally right. Like Mariota looked it looked pretty crazy. It did seem like that. It did seem like he was like just over it, like almost like he wasn't a fan of football anymore. We got you back, Jose?
Yeah.
Yeah, we lost you for a second. That's okay. But yeah, I was just saying that I agree with you that Mariota in that documentary especially just looked like he was over it and he was ready to be done with football entirely. I agree. Yeah, so just to see him come out and have a game, I mean, especially against a team that, you know, I don't like. Yeah, I think it was just refreshing to see that, you know, it's not just Jaden Daniels. Washington is good. What the Washington team is good. What do you think about that, Seamus? I mean, as a Cowboys fan.
So I think, you know, one of the questions that you sent in the email was, you know, who, you know, is kind of head and shoulders above everyone else. And I think that especially in the NFC, I think it's just so, you know, I don't even know what to make of anybody specifically. I think everybody, you know, in any given week, it can be good. I think that it's, you know, great for the NFC East. It's, you know, I just love when it's competitive. I love when the division is competitive. Obviously hate to see the other teams do well, but that's part of it. You know, I'm a huge Dan Quinn guy. He did a lot for the Cowboys defense when they were one of the best defenses in the league. And you can see how far they've fallen without him over the past couple of years. In that regard, you know, happy for Dan and his success over there. And I do agree with you that it shows that it is more than just, you know, the phenom that is Jaden Daniels, and that they do have a good thing going there, and they have, you know, decent level talent. But then they just play good football. They play smart, and they can beat anybody any given week for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man, they're kind of scary. You know, you look at them and I think, you know, once Jaden comes back and he's back to form like he was last year, I think they're going to be really tough. And, you know, something that we've talked about on this podcast before is I actually think that the NFC East is a lot closer than people think it is. Cowboys, especially, I use that as a benchmark all the time is, you know, you look at the week 1 Cowboys and they looked great against the Eagles. You know, at no point did you think, oh, the Eagles are definitely going to win this. You know, you just look at it and you're watching, you know, the Cowboys have a lot of really good pieces. Eagles have a lot of really good pieces. The Giants last week, holy cow, against the Cowboys. I mean, Russ had a career day that he's never had, even going back to like his high school days. He's never had 450 yards and what is it, 4 touchdowns or whatever it was. We can ask Nathan when he hops on. I'm sure he'll let us know. But yeah, the NFC East is looking kind of scary. I don't know. And we'll get into the Chiefs and Giants in just a few minutes. But yeah, I don't think it's a gimme game for Kansas City tonight. But yeah, we'll talk about that. The Vikings, are they legit?
I think it says more about Cincinnati. I think that they were kind of running on they were running on fumes already. I think people were higher on them than they should have been, me included. Yeah. I you know, on my podcast with my brothers, we, you know, 2 of my brothers both picked Burrow to be MVP and Jamar Chase to be Offensive Player of the Year, which I don't even know if that's ever happened, you know, quarterback, wide receiver to win both of those awards in the same year. Obviously, that's not going to happen the way it's looking right now. But I just think that they're just defeated and not having Joe Burrow for 3 months. I mean, I think they're ready to pack up and go home, even though it's week 3. So I think, you know, it's great that they were able to just roll like that and put up that many points. I stupidly took the under in that game, and Minnesota got it on their own. So so, you know, Minnesota obviously put up the points, and Carson Wentz, I mean, you know, talking about journeyman backups that, you know, kind of fell off, and it's good to see somebody like that, you know, still sling it around and still have some success.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. I mean, go ahead, Jose.
I was just going to say, when it comes to the Bengals too, I mean, Joe Burrow is just such a Band-Aid for that team. Like, without him, I mean, if you look at Zach Taylor's record, I don't know what it is without Burrow, but I'm sure it's terrible. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. So obviously without him, your team is just going to sink multiple levels in this league. And there are levels to this league. So.
And I think that's exactly the point when it comes to the Vikings and the Bengals. You see kind of the two sides of this is a strong team versus this is a team that's really held together by the quarterback, right? Mm-hmm. And we just saw the complete difference of it. One of them, I mean, they're both using backup quarterbacks in the same exact position, but they both have star wide receivers from the same school, right? And the ones that people always compare to each other. But one of them, obviously, they invest in their defense. The other one is saying, hey, let me give, 60% of our cap to 3 players. So I don't know, man. It's I think that the Vikings are very, very good. I don't know when JJ's going to come back, but they might be better off without him. We'll see. But yeah, it's going to be really, really interesting to see. What's wrong with Houston, guys? What's going on there?
I think it's just that they're the Texans. I don't know what it is. There's just something that they've been in the league, and maybe this is the bias of being a Cowboys fan, but
yeah,
they've been in the league for so long. But I still I look at the logo, I look at the jerseys, they've had JJ Watt, they've had Andre Johnson, they've had these Hall of Fame guys go through there, and I still just look at it like it's an expansion team that they just don't. It's just something about them, and I think that even with the talent that they have, and I think maybe we thought CJ Stroud was better than he is based off his rookie year. But I just think that there's just something about that franchise that just rubs me the wrong way, and I just don't see them ever being successful.
Yeah. Yeah, it's shocking to see an 0-3 start for them, especially with how well they've played over the last 2 years. And D'Amico Ryan's just completely changing the culture of that program. And, everybody was on the hype train coming into the sophomore season for Stroud last year. And, he kind of had a little bit of a slump. But I think, they don't really have a ton of talent surrounding him. I think there's big names like Nico Collins and Chubb, but who are, actual legitimate contributors on the offense and that offensive line. He's getting pressured a ton, and he's showing that, maybe he's not quite at the level everybody expected him to be coming into the season.
Yeah.
So some of the blame definitely falls on his play as well.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Do you guys remember the when the Bears played the Texans? I believe it was Caleb Williams' rookie year, so it must have been last year. And the Texans win, and CJ Stroud kind of goes big brother on him and tried to give him a pep talk. Since he kind of tried to do that to Caleb Williams and act like he was this elite guy 1 year ahead of him, he is 8-10. So he was humbled pretty significantly. 8-10 obviously still serviceable, but the way he was talking, it'd be it was like how Brady talks to quarterbacks.
Right.
And I don't even think the win-loss is that different between him and Caleb Williams since that game. So kind of funny to look back on that. And CJ Stroud thought that he was this next level quarterback, and he just hasn't proven it since then.
Yeah. Yeah, and he could turn it on. He definitely could, but since since his rookie year, it just seems like he's really, really fallen off. And I don't know. Who hasn't fallen off since they, since the beginning of the season is Daniel Jones. I can't believe we haven't talked about him yet. What is happening? What is going on in the NFL right now, where Daniel Jones and the Indianapolis Colts are at the top of the AFC? Not the AFC South, the AFC. Yeah. They are number 1 in the conference. What the heck is happening?
They're legit, man. I think Shane Steichen finally found a quarterback who can operate his system and run the offense smoothly. You can see, I saw when the Broncos played the Colts a couple of weeks ago, he just had complete command of the offense, making checks at the line, calling audibles, staying turnover free. Even, throwing the ball in the face of pressure accurately and just playing extremely well. Like, he is a legitimate MVP candidate at this point, and the Colts are a legitimate contender, which is shocking to say because at the beginning of the season, I remember doing my preview for the Broncos. I thought 2-0 for sure. I thought the Titans game was a gimme, and even the Colts game, like, come on, they're the Indianapolis Colts. They have Anthony Richardson at quarterback and Daniel Jones. Like, it's kind of a joke coming into the season. Even online, I saw Colts fans just, posting that meme where they just wanted to fast forward and simulate the rest of the year with those two guys at quarterback. But I think Colts Nation is happily surprised with, Daniel Jones' performance so far.
Yeah, it's something that, speaking of joking about them, like Cam and I, as soon as we saw that happen, we said on the podcast, the Colts are waving the white flag. Like, they are gunning for a quarterback in 2026. And everybody's eating crow. every 3 weeks into the NFL season, everybody's like, "Holy crap, are they ever going to lose?" That is crazy to think about. I still
they've only
can't believe
punted once so far in the entire 3 weeks of the
Unreal.
season. They have one punt. It's ridiculous.
That is unbelievable. Yeah, I was. I didn't look up. I saw that coming into this, and I didn't watch closely enough to see when they actually punted in this game. I mean, it obviously had to happen today because they hadn't punted coming into this day or into this game today. But yeah, man, pretty quick or pretty awesome. I don't know. It's awesome, honestly, to see somebody just. I don't know. The NFL. It's kind of like a joke. It's kind of like a joke. Like you can't believe it. If somebody told you Daniel Jones is going to be leading the number one team in the AFC, in week 3, I think everybody would just think that it was ridiculous and untrue. But yeah. So we've got 2 minutes. Any last? Go ahead, Shane.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's a storyline that we continue to see in the NFL of the new home, the fresh start, and it still surprises us every time. Look at Baker Mayfield, when he was in Carolina, they had him doing scout team defensive end, and now he's, arguably the best team in the NFC. It's crazy that, all it takes is a fresh start and a coach that's willing to kind of try something different with them and get the most out of them. So in that regard, I'm happy for Daniel Jones. He obviously has all the talent. He was a high draft pick, and it just wasn't a fit in New York for whatever reason. And it's great to see him find a home. And it's not even just that the Colts are doing good. It's that he looks so good out there and he looks so comfortable, and it's all of his skill sets are coming through. So it's just really wild to see.
Wild indeed. You know what else is going to be? What did you say?
I was going to say he's the perfect system quarterback for that offense.
Yeah, true.
And it just makes a huge difference. I mean, Indianapolis has legitimate weapons on offense. Tyler Warren was a home run pick in the first round this year. He's somebody I wanted for the Broncos. But Michael Pittman finally has a quarterback who can get him the ball consistently and accurately. And even Jonathan Taylor out of the backfield. I mean, there's no running back playing better than him right now. So they're legit.
Yeah.
They're a team to be afraid of for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And it's kind of talking about a couple teams to be afraid of. The Chiefs, I still think they're scary. Even if they lose tonight, and be 0-3, I still think they're a scary team. They could always turn it around, right? And the Giants all of a sudden look very scary after last week. Despite the loss, it looks like they can keep up with anybody. And if Russell Wilson is back to prime Russell Wilson, I think, we talked about it a few minutes ago, but I think the NFC East is going to be scary. But yeah, so we're going to bring on we're going to preview this Sunday night game, and we're going to bring on Logan, who covers the Chiefs for FanFeed Network, and we bring on Nathan, who covers the Giants. So, let's bring him on. Logan, Nathan, how you guys doing?
Doing well.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, guys.
I'm good. What's going on, guys?
Not much. Logan, we've talked to you a few times already, so I'm going to give the floor to Nathan first because I don't think you've been on our podcast yet, Nathan. But feel free to just introduce yourself, who you're covering, and just some fun facts about yourself.
Yeah, I'm Nathan. I'm covering the Giants for FanFeed. Just fun facts about myself. I don't know. I'm getting my MBA and just kind of grinding along right now. Cool. This is kind of perfect for me. I've never been on a podcast before, but I'm on meetings like this every week. So
yeah,
it's great.
Yeah. Hopefully it's a little bit more laid back and a little more casual.
A little more
meetings.
fun. Better to talk about the NFL than insurance. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. And Logan, go ahead and introduce yourself for those who haven't watched before.
Yeah, my name's Logan. I'm from Kansas City. I cover the Chiefs for FanFeed Network, and I've done this podcast about 3 or 4 times now, and I love every opportunity to be on the show.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, covering the Chiefs, you'll probably be on a lot more just because they get a lot of airtime. But yeah, good to have you guys on. We'll just get right into this preview because I'm really curious to see how both of your fan bases are feeling after 2 weeks. Both 0-2, but you got a pretty tight game coming up tonight, or at least it seems that way to me. But yeah, Logan, we'll start with you. So what's the first storyline you think of when you see this matchup?
For me, it's a must-win game for the Chiefs. That's pretty much the first thing that comes to my mind. And Obviously, it's a must-win because the Chiefs don't want to start 0-3. But when you kind of look ahead of their schedule, they have the Ravens next week. They can't really afford to lose this game when you look at it just because of schedule, and they won't have Rashee Rice back for at least 3-4 more weeks. So the storyline comes to me is that they have to win this game.
Yeah. How about you, Nathan?
I mean, I honestly had kind of the same thing. I was thinking, like, who is under more pressure in this game? And it's the Chiefs. Like, even with Brian Dable's job security, I think you can't start 0-3 if you're the Chiefs. And if you're the Giants, honestly, in all honesty, the fans aren't going to, get pitchforks and go crazy if you go 0-3, unless you're 1-2, The Chiefs start 0-3, everybody's starting to say the dynasty dying talks get louder and louder every week.
Yeah. We'll see if that happens. I don't know. I'm still torn on who I'm going to pick. I know we're going to get into our predictions for this game in a few minutes, but I still haven't even decided because I don't know. I'm too nervous to put it out there right now. So what do you guys have any glaring concerns about anything on your team? I know, Logan, you kind of already mentioned, the wide receiving core, but like what from your perspective, what do you think is a major concern for you all?
Particularly in this game, it's the Giants' defensive line against the Chiefs' offensive line. They have a really good front seven with Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns Jr., Abdul Carter, Kayvon Thibodeau. And the Chiefs' offensive line, has struggled a bit. Josh Simmons has looked, pretty steady at left tackle, but that's the one matchup that I think could exploit the Chiefs in this one.
Yeah. And how about you, Nathan?
Yeah, I'll stick defense. I think the linebackers, because even with the D-line, you can get to Mahomes, but it's tough to get to Mahomes and bring him down. I think if he can scramble around, the Giants linebackers are not it. And like Mahomes and Kelsey buddy ball might be on full display tonight.
Yeah. He's really slippery. Watching him do that for the last 8 or 9 years, whatever it's been, it's so annoying when he runs up that sideline just to get those extra 4 or 5 yards. Gosh, man, it's like somebody hit him. Yeah, take the penalty.
You're used to that.
Yeah, it sucks. It really sucks watching that. Cool. I mean, so obviously those are like valid concerns for each of your teams. How do you hope to exploit the other team? And we'll start with you, Nathan.
Yeah, I think, like Logan said, the defensive line has to get to Mahomes and bring him down. If they can do that, they can put them back in the sticks and make him have to throw the ball. Those wide receivers without Rice and Worthy, even the Giants' defensive backs aren't perfect, but I think they're good enough to get off the field on third down. Then they have to run the ball. I think if Russell Wilson is still the leading rusher on this team after tonight, it's a problem. And I think they're over 3.
That is crazy. So even still, he's the leading rusher right now?
Yep. After last week, he's still the leading rusher.
Oh my gosh.
I think that's also the case for the Chiefs. I think Patrick Mahomes is also the leading rusher in Kansas City, which is one of their big weaknesses too. No run game, no dynamic running backs on either one of these teams, which is going to be an X factor.
Yeah. Do either of you have any, or do any of you have any Chiefs running backs or Giants running backs on your fantasy teams?
No, I avoided both of those backs.
I may have picked Scatabo in one league just for fun at like the last pick, but just for the touchdown potential, honestly. But I don't think it's going to live up to that.
Well, he got in last week, right? I think he had a decent game.
He got his first one last week.
40 something yards, I think, and a touchdown. That's surprising because coming in, I thought he was just slow and fat, and I thought it was always a pick for New York, honestly. But he's going to prove me wrong. He's a feisty little guy, huh?
Yeah, I'm a Texas fan, so I saw it full force in the Sugar Bowl last year when he just went crazy.
Yep.
Dang. Yeah, that's scary. So, Seamus, Jose, I want to ask you guys about this before we get to our actual score predictions. What do you guys think about this game?
I actually have a question for Nathan as the Giants fan. On my podcast last week, talking about this weekend coming up, we started talking about this game, and I just started talking about the Giants offense, and I started to get kind of smirks from my brothers, and they're like, you're just biased saying that the Giants offense is all this and that. So I wanted to ask you, Nathan, if last week was more about the Giants offense and their potential or the Cowboys just being awful. And how does today's game make you feel about the offense, the Giants offense?
All right. I mean, I wrote about this last week about the Giants offense, and I think I honestly will have to say it's more about the Cowboys. I think we'll find out because the Giants are playing like the Broncos, the Eagles twice, the Chargers in the next few weeks. We're gonna know if their offense is good for real or if it was just the Cowboys. And I mean, after today, I'm leaning towards Cowboys for sure. But
Nathan, I believe in the Giants offense. I'm gonna hold that, and I believe in the Bears offense too. So I think I'm just.
I believe in the offense well enough. I think last week, and I mean, if they perform well again today and lose, I think it really puts Brian Dable in a really, really bad spot because then his Hail Mary, we have Jackson Dart. Let's see what he's got to try and turn it around. Doesn't even make sense because Russ is playing well. So you'd make half the fan base mad for benching him and half the fan base, is already like ready for him to go. So.
Yeah. But to your first question, Trey, I do, like the guy said, that this game is so much more important to the Chiefs. They do very well with their backs against the wall, and I think that however they get it done, they will find a way. Like I talked about, the Eagles do it right now, how they have that, even when it seems like they're out of it. I think the Chiefs kind of pull some of that magic tonight just to fight. They do have a tough schedule ahead, and if they lose tonight, 0-4 and 0-5 are real possibilities. And I just can't see them getting to that point. So I would have to go with the Chiefs tonight.
Yeah. What about you, Jose? Oh, it looks like you might be frozen again.
Am I back?
There we go.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that this game can stay close. As a Broncos fan, I desperately am craving an 0-3 start for the Kansas City Chiefs. And I mean, the Giants and their offense actually match up fairly well against Kansas City as well as they've been playing on defense. Spagnuolo loves to play man coverage with leaving one high safety up top, and that's where Russ excels, especially on those deep moon ball passes. So I think the game comes down to the Giants D-line and their front seven, which is probably the strength of their team versus the Chiefs offensive line. If the Chiefs can't get a more balanced attack going on offense, I think they're going to continue to struggle. So I think, if they continue to put it on Mahomes' shoulders to win and carry themselves to victory, he showed this year that maybe he doesn't have that in him anymore. He's missed a lot of wide open guys. Every single Chiefs game so far has been fairly low scoring compared to, their offensive output over the last few years. So I think we are kind of at a crossroads with the Chiefs. And I think this is one of those games where they have to prove it to not only themselves, but the rest of the league. Like, are they still the Kansas City Chiefs that everybody needs to fear? But at the same time, New York is in position to kind of, turn their season around because they do match up so well on offense against the Chiefs. And with the Giants defense playing like they are, the Chiefs should be, looking at this as a chance to get their offense back on track. But they really haven't proven it to this point. So I'm just hoping for a close game, and I'm hoping, Russell Wilson can, have a little bit of redemption for all of his Denver Bronco fans and pull off the win here.
Yeah, I can't believe as a Broncos fan we're rooting for Russell Wilson. It's like, I don't know. It's almost like seeing your ex out there and being like, oh man, I hope you're doing really well with your new boyfriend. Well,
it's like, it's like seeing your ex, but your ex is also fighting like your arch nemesis. So it's who do you root for here?
Yeah. Fighting your worst ex. That's what's happening. Cool. All right, so let's get into it. Let's get into some score predictions. Logan, we haven't heard from you in a minute, so let's start with you.
Yeah, I think because of that, the fact that Chiefs are coming into this game really desperate, especially now that Chargers are 3-0, have a stranglehold on that division for the time being. I think you're going to see the Chiefs play, just do enough to win tonight's game. I don't think the offense is ever going to, it's not going to find its groove until Rashee Rice comes back. So I'm not really expecting, that to turn around at all anytime soon. So I'll take the Chiefs 23-17 tonight.
Cool. Nathan, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm also hoping for a close game, Jose, but like both of these teams are close. Like if you look at their EPA per play charts, their logos are touching or right on top of each other, depending if you're looking on offense or defense. But this is just what Mahomes does. It's a primetime game. I think he does enough. It's going to be like, I have 24-13 written down. I could see it being a little bit closer, or maybe it's a 2-touchdown game for the Chiefs. I think Russ, and then we'll see if it was for real. I'm still going to need to see it to believe it after the first week against Washington for sure.
Yeah. Jose, did you say you picked the Chiefs too?
No, I'm going with the Giants. I have to.
Oh, I'm going against Green.
I'm going with the 0-3 start for the Kansas City Chiefs. And
wow,
as poor as the Chiefs offense has been, I do expect them to at least hit a few more big plays than we've seen thus far. And I actually am expecting a higher scoring game than some of the other guys on the pod right now. I'm going 34-31 and another shootout for the New York Giants, and the Giants get their first win of the season here.
Wow. Cool. I know it's my turn, but I still am not prepared for who I'm going to pick for this game yet. I honestly think it's a coin flip. I do. Gosh. All right. I have to go Chiefs. You guys have all said it, backs against the wall, right? They would be 3 games behind the Los Angeles Chargers, and I don't know if that's a hole that you can dig out of, especially with that schedule coming up. I mean, Seamus, you said, they could be looking down the barrel of 0-5. And that's not somewhere where the Chiefs want to be. So I am going to go with the logical side of me versus my heart. And I'm going to pick the Chiefs. I don't think it's as high scoring because I do think that they match up really well. And I think that they're, I'm going to go 24-20 Chiefs in this game. But yeah, I think it's going to be good. I want to see Malik Neighbors and Trent McDuffie. I want to see what that looks like. I think that's going to be a really, really good outing from somebody, and then we'll see who it is. But they both look incredible, and I'm stoked to see that. But guys, thank you. Oh my gosh, thank you. I really want to talk to you guys after the fact, and hope it's a close game, and I hope both of your teams win.
I don't.
That's not possible. Yeah,
you don't mean that, Trey.
Yeah, I don't mean that. I only hope that one of your teams wins and it's not the Chiefs. So, but cool. Yeah, we'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you guys for hopping on and talking to us. We're going to get into this Monday night game. But real quick, before you guys go, would you guys have any score predictions for tomorrow night? Logan and Nathan? The Lions.
I'll probably say Ravens 31, Lions 27.
Could be 100-100. Who knows?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say I hope we get a Chiefs Rams type game. That would be sick. From
my God,
whatever year that was. Though, I think Ravens maybe 35-31, something like that, something close.
Cool. Yeah. Cool. It sounds good. Yeah, I'm sure Valdemar is gonna love to hear that. He's hopping on right after you guys. So. Appreciate it, gentlemen. We'll talk to you soon, and I'm sure I'll talk to you tonight or tomorrow about this week's stuff. But yeah,
all right.
Thanks a lot for hopping on, guys.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Thanks,
guys.
See
you guys.
Have a good night.
What'd you guys think before we bring on Valdemar? What'd you guys think of that?
It was fun. I mean, those guys know their stuff about their teams, and it's just kind of fun to hear different perspectives and kind of hear the inside track on, what they personally think about their teams. Because it's easy from the outside to kind of see the stats or see the box score and kind of make our own judgments. But to kind of have some of that stuff confirmed and verified by those guys, it's good to know.
Yeah. I'll say that you could feel the nervousness from Logan. I've seen a lot of his stuff, and he's very good. And not that he wasn't tonight, but he's definitely focused, and he's he did his job and he was here. But I think he's got the TV on and he's ready to sit down and stress out the next couple of hours. Nathan, obviously, not as much at stake. The Giants aren't expected to do much, so a win would be huge. So I think he's playing with house money tonight. But you could kind of feel the tension coming from Logan.
Yeah, for sure. I think part of that too is the fact that the Chargers just won, right? Like if the Broncos win, they're one game behind first place. If if they lose now, they're 3 games behind. So it was a massive swing for the Kansas City Chiefs, and I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting to see the AFC West shake up this year, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, without further ado, I do want to bring on Valdemar Carnegie. He's our in-house fan feed Baltimore Ravens contributor, and he is awesome. He's awesome. So welcome in, Valdemar. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How y'all doing?
Great.
Good,
Valdemar. Cool. Well, Valdemar, yeah, let's just get right into it. Do you have any notes or takeaways from any of the other games today? I don't know if you watched any.
I watched a few, just a little bit of the Jaguars game, and I watched a little bit of the Tampa Bay Bucks game. As far as the Jaguars, I think Travis Hunter needs to go ahead and like just pick a position. Really, I think he's better at DB. I think he should stick to DB. And yeah, that's about it. That's all that I would.
You didn't see those moves he put on that defense with that I don't know, it was a long 3rd down conversion. He just put some moves on some guys.
I seen it, but that's just
that's
just raw talent. That's just raw talent though. But I feel like as far as just strict position, IQ and everything, I think DB is his natural position.
Yeah.
So so you think that he should just stick to one position in general? I do.
Yeah, I do. I think if he has to play offense and then go try to tackle Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, I think that would be tough.
He's a DB. He doesn't need to tackle those guys. That's not his main responsibility. That's not why he's on the field. And I'm a CU guy.
True.
So I'm a big Travis Hunter supporter, and I saw with my own eyes what he could do on both sides of the ball. And I think with the ball in his hands, he's just too shifty, too talented of a ball carrier. And on defense, he does have those natural instincts, like you said, just to feel the routes of the receivers in zone, and just has great ball skills on defense as well. So I disagree with that.
Imagine he's busy. True. Imagine he gets busy on offense and then he has to go guard Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, guys like that. You don't think that would be too tough for him? Because it's not college anymore.
I mean, I'm with you that he should probably stick to one, but I'm on the opposite side of things. I want to see him be put into that offense. It's probably way too of a hot take for me, but I said earlier in the year I think he's going to be offensive rookie of the year. Doesn't look like that so far. I mean, he's had a couple good catches and made some fun plays, but I don't know, man. Yeah, it is interesting how they're using him. They traded the farm to go get him, and yeah, he is playing both. I think I saw that he's played like 83 snaps on offense and like 49 snaps on defense coming into this game. I don't know what his snap counts were in this game, but yeah, I think
he's listed as the 3rd string DB as well. I think that's what his official listing was.
Yeah, I think, and that's probably a good spot for him, right? Like you come in as a 3rd, like you learn from some of the guys who have been in the league for a little bit, and then kind of ease your way into it if you're going to play that position. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so excited to get into this game tomorrow night. I don't know if you just heard Logan and heard Nathan. They both picked the Ravens to win tomorrow, but yeah, we want to talk to you a little bit. But yeah, just curious, just right off the rip, what's the first story that comes to you when you see this matchup? Like, what do you think about?
So I agree with the both of them. I think it's the first thing that comes to my mind is offensive shootout. Especially because we're battling. I don't know if you guys heard, but Matabike and Kyle Van Noy have both been ruled out, and those are 2 key pass rushers for us. So we're going to need Mike Green, Ojabo, and Owe to kind of step up because you don't want Josh Allen just sitting in the pocket, getting in rhythm and things like that, So I think, but the storyline that comes to mind is offensive shootout, and they got some dogs over there in Detroit, Gibbs, St. Brown, Jameson Williams. So we do too, though. So offensive shootout.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's really interesting to see how both teams. Well, I think it's going to be interesting to see how both teams attack each other because I feel like either one of these teams at any point can score like crazy amounts of points just out of nowhere. And I just feel like it's always going to be, it could be a touchdown anytime anybody touches the ball. Jameson Williams, you got Jahmyr Gibbs, you got Zay Flowers, you have even Mark Andrews can break away. You got Derrick Henry. I mean, how many times have we seen Derrick Henry run like a 90-yard touchdown? Like that guy he's a machine.
He's still got it.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm excited. As a fan, an impartial fan who likes both of these teams, I'm really excited to see hopefully a shootout. So a lot of crazy defense and special teams today, but I think that's going to be your it might be better in week 1. I don't know. We'll see. That week 1 Buffalo Bills game, it might be better in that one.
Over under 53.5 right now that I'm looking at. So Vegas.
Are you serious?
It's going to be 53.5. So Vegas thinks it's going to be a shootout.
That's crazy.
Yeah, smash that over. Yeah, I could see both of them scoring 30 or more.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Yeah, me as well.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So, just continuing forward here. So how do you think that the Lions are going to try to exploit the Ravens? What do you think is your glaring weakness?
Well, I feel like our weakness is on defense is the consistency on third downs. I think sometimes we get lackadaisical and we allow key third downs, and they have the weapons to kind of go at us on third downs. And also just simple mistakes as well. Like back-to-back weeks, we have 2 tip touchdowns on defense, and we just want to avoid penalties, silly mistakes, and just stay locked in, really.
Yeah, for sure. It's interesting to hear what your perspective is because I feel like a lot of people, they know their teams and they know where their strengths are, but not necessarily where the opposing team's defense or offense, is going to be able to really beat them. So, I mean, that's really good to hear. But how do you think that the Ravens win this game?
How do we win? Just avoid playing conservative. Like, even if we have the lead, I feel like a lot of times when we have the lead, we get to start playing not to lose and instead of playing to win, just keep playing to win. I feel like that's what happened with the Bills game, and I feel like that's what happened with really most of the games in the last few years when we blow leads. We just start playing not to lose instead of playing to win. And just stick to the game plan. Each drive, try to score, just stick to the game plan. Play to win.
Yeah. I Stephanie, who's our Lions contributor over at FanFeed, she wasn't able to make the call today, but she gave me a whole bunch of talking points that she wanted me to talk through. So this is just what she thinks. But like you said, Matabuke, is that how you say his name?
Yeah, Matabike.
Matabike, yeah. So she pointed to him and to Kyle Van Noy. So it's funny that you brought them up first because that's her very first talking point too. Is that she just thinks that the Detroit's O-line has a really good chance of stopping your D-line. And she said that Tate, what's his name? Tate Ratledge, I think, is like the rookie guard on their team, and Christian Mahogany. That's what she said. They're going to be key to helping Jared Goff stay clean. She also brought up the beatdown that you guys gave them in 2023, the 38-6, and she thinks that still stings, for everybody involved, right? And she also brought up the point of last week, Ben Johnson running up the score 52-21, on the hapless Bears. She thinks that they're ready for the task this week. So she's hoping that they just stay aggressive and that they don't hesitate to just, keep their pedal to the floor. Just kind of like what you just said, don't get complacent and don't just try to lose the game, but rather just keep scoring. Because honestly, against the Ravens, against the Lions, that's something you have to do. And I I think it was Nathan a few minutes ago who said, I hope we get a shootout like the Kansas City Chiefs, Los Angeles Rams. Everybody remembers that game. Oh my gosh, that game was probably like the best game I've ever seen. That game was so good.
Crazy. That was a crazy game.
Yeah. But then she said the way that the Lions actually win is just keeping Lamar off the field. And I see your jersey. I remember it from last time too. That 8. He's dangerous. He's very dangerous, and he makes anything happen with his arms and his legs. So, So I'm just curious, Valdemar. Well, we'll do you last. We'll do you last, but Seamus, we'll start with you. Score predictions or any last thoughts on this thing?
So I kind of was looking at it from the gambling side of it, and as of right now, the Ravens are favored 4.5. The way I read that is that on a neutral field, they basically see the Ravens as a 7.5 point favorite.
Yeah,
which I think is a little disrespectful to the Lions. I'm not buying too much into the blowout last week. I'm also not buying too much into the week 1 against Green Bay. I think they fall somewhere in between those two games, which I think puts them pretty even with the Ravens. I do think it's kind of a coin flip. I do think they both get into the 30, so I think the over is definitely in play at 53.5. I would probably lean the edge just to Baltimore just because they're home, but I would definitely take the Lions to cover. I don't think that they're going to run away with more than 4.5.
Jose, what about you?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this game. It's just too high-powered offenses, and to me, it really comes to which defense can step up the most. On paper, I think Baltimore is the better team, but also just in watching them in recent years in big games against great teams, I feel like when it comes to the end, they either get conservative and take their foot off the gas, or even some of their star players make mistakes. What was it like? Derrick Henry last week fumbling. In the playoffs last year against Buffalo, I think Lamar had a couple of turnovers late in the game when it seemed like they had things taken care of. So those are kind of things that worry me about that Ravens team, and them being able to put together a championship caliber performance, not only against the Lions but like against other AFC teams when it comes to the playoffs. On paper, they look unbeatable. I think they should be top 3 in the NFL as far as like rankings go. But the Lions are feisty. They're not going to go down without a fight. So I do think it's another high-scoring game. I've been kind of going back and forth on this one, but I think the Ravens early in the season, they won't let the pressure get to them too much, regardless of who they're facing. If this was like a playoff game or even the Super Bowl, maybe I'd lean more to the Lions. But I think with the lack of pressure on this game, I think the Ravens can kind of stay composed and kind of just do their thing. So I'm going Ravens 38-28.
Ooh, wow. So you are taking Vegas or smashing that over.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Valdemar, you go ahead. Let's hear yours. Let's hear your score prediction, how you think it's going to shake out.
Yeah, I just think it's going to be an offensive shootout. My final score prediction is 38-35 Ravens. I think it's going to come down to the last minute. And I think it's going to be I think it's going to be a great battle, like an exciting battle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I have to go against the grain here since I think all of you, I think all 5 of you chose the Ravens. So just for sake of giving some Lions fans some hope out there, I'm going to take the Lions, but I think it comes down to whoever has the ball last. I just think that's what's going to happen. And I'm also going a high scoring shootout. I'm going to say let's see. I'm going to say 41-38. I think it's going to be a crazy game. We're all going to look silly if it's like 17-13.
No way, man. Don't say that.
Yeah. There's no way. There's no way it's going to happen. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. Valdemar, appreciate you hopping on and talking to us. We'll try to put your socials and everything like in the description below so everybody can follow you. But man, thank you for hopping on. And just like I told the other guys, I'm sure I'll talk to you tomorrow. But appreciate your insight.
Thank you for having me. And I just want to let you know. Remember, Lamar is on 24-4 versus the NFC as well. So that's
dang.
That's a good stat.
well.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm picking the Lions, but I'm putting money on the Ravens.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right, Valdemar, we'll talk to you.
Yes, sir.
No, that's going to be a fun game, man. I think, especially for our bettors out there, the anytime touchdown bets, that's going to be a fun game to look at and just kind of put together a bet slip.
Oh, my gosh. What do you got? Well, I guess you guys already talked about this with your score predictions, but if you, where would you put the over under for amount of touchdowns scored in that game? Where would you put it?
Well, I'm thinking around 60 points total in this game. So
yeah,
I mean, I'm terrible at math. What 60 divided by 7? So like 9 touchdowns, 10 touchdowns, maybe. We'll see.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, when you put it that way, that sounds crazy. But I mean, the two offensive teams, you know, not bad defenses, but obviously some injuries on both sides. And you know, even Hutchinson's making his way back. He's not, you know, fully back, I would say, yet. So yeah, I mean, the Lions and Ravens, they're going to be flying out there. You know, not quite cold weather yet, so playing in Baltimore is not going to, you know, be too intimidating. So yeah, I think the points will be plenty for sure. And also, since she wasn't on to talk, I would just say go check out Steph's article on the website, the preview. I read it. Friends with her on LinkedIn, so I saw her posted. So I read it yesterday. Really good preview of the game. Since she wasn't able to give her thoughts tonight, definitely go check that out.
Yeah. Honestly, you guys, if you're watching, if you're new to the show, go check out fanfeednetwork.com. Jose and Seamus here, they both have articles coming out all the time. These guys are incredible at what they do. Not just the two of these guys, everybody that we've got on our staff here is really good. They're everybody writes for their favorite team. That's what's cool is like we get everybody to write for your favorite team because, you know, that's what you're most passionate about. And, you know, we're all about passion here at FanFeed Network. Please, guys, come over to YouTube, give us a subscribe, you know, help us grow this channel. Follow Seamus. He's got his own podcast separate from FanFeed. Seamus, go ahead and plug that really quick.
Yeah, so I do a podcast called The Winded Podcast, kind of a sports, pop culture, kind of really whatever I'm feeling. Have a weekly segment that I do with my brothers called The Brothers Parlay, where we each throw in a leg of a parlay, talk about other gambling picks. I'm actually expanding it, and I'm opening it up to guest brothers. So anybody who has a brother, you know, they send me a video of each of them making a pick. I put it on as kind of a quick, you know, quick mini pod that's usually about 5 minutes. So yeah, it's kind of more gambling than we do here on FanFeed. So it's kind of, you know, not in the same lane. So you get a little bit of a different thing. But I really am, I'm open to talk about any sports. I had a professor who he has a PhD in sports leadership, and we talked about his dissertation and the physicality in hockey, which was really interesting. So go check that one out. I'm on all the platforms. But thank you, Trey, for letting me shout that out. And displaying my beautiful background.
Check that out.
But yeah, so but very happy to be with FanFeed. I really believe in, you know, what Trey and Cam and what everyone here is trying to do. Really kind of bring the fan voice back to it, and not just, you know, the guys who have a grudge and you know, couldn't play sports and are upset, and, you know, the classic journalists. So happy to have a voice here. And there's a lot of talented people that can do a lot of different things. Yeah.
Jose, anything you're working on outside of this that you want to plug before we go?
No, not necessarily. I'm trying to finish up my degree here at CU, and just taking care of my son outside of this, trying to turn him into the ultimate Bronco fan, so I can have somebody to cheer alongside me once he gets a little bit bigger.
Sir.
So.
That's awesome. Are you guys going into any games this year?
I don't think so. I think it's just my son's too young, and by the time, you know, I feel ready to go, it's too cold out here in Denver, and it's just more fun to stay home and watch it on TV. Yeah.
We are actually flying out to coincidentally the Giants game on October 19th. We'll be at that game. Yeah, we're taking our little kids because they're still young enough to get in for free, but after this year, that's it. So
take advantage now, man.
Yeah. But yeah, guys, thank you for hopping on and filling in for Cam. That guy's a slacker, man. He's just like, I don't feel like hopping on this week. No.
Week 3, he's already on load management.
Yeah. I don't know what this is. I'm gonna have to. Honestly, it's way more fun with you guys than with Cam. So, Cam, if you're listening, you're booted. No, I'm just kidding. He's at a concert with his brother tonight, and
Awesome.
he told me a long time ago. So, anyways, but yeah, guys, this is FanFeed Network. Please feel free to give us a subscribe, a like, a comment. Whatever whether you like this content or not. We want to hear your frustrations. We want to hear what you liked about this week, week 3, what you hated about it, and anything in between. But we'll talk to you guys next time. I think Tuesday we've got the fantasy guys are going to be on. Go ahead, Jose.
Yeah, I got one quick thing before we get out of here. I just thought it was a crazy stat that I saw on Twitter. Vikings cornerback Isaiah Rodgers earned the highest overall PFF grade in NFL history today with his 2 defensive touchdowns, the fumble return and the pick 6. So 99.9 overall PFF grade today. I just thought that was
that's
crazy.
very cool.
So I just wanted to shout that out before we get out of here.
Yeah. I mean, and just real quick, I usually love those kind of stats, but also I can't trust PFF for anything. Did you see who the 2 worst rated quarterbacks were this year?
Yeah, Bo Nix. Yeah. And was it
Bo Nix and Baker Mayfield?
Oh, Baker
That's
Mayfield.
what they said.
Okay.
Yeah. So they said those are the 2 worst quarterbacks in the league. But I digress. That's where I stand with that. But yeah, guys, again, thank you so much for hopping on, and we'll talk to you again soon.
All right, sounds good. Have a good day, guys.
Bye.